Boom! On the 6th of July 2022, before anyone in Georgia was even awake, a massive explosion just destroyed this monument. This thing has caused insane arguments for over 40 years. And someone just blew it up. Some people said it was an act of God destroying a satanic landmark. Others thought it was a guide to save humanity. And now, it's gone. This is the story of the Georgia Guidestones, aka the American Stonehenge. But most people called it the Antichrist 10 Commandments. What was actually written on these stones that made people so mad they had to destroy them? We're about to find out. The explosion is crazy, but how this whole thing started is even crazier. Get this, in 1979, a guy calling himself R.C. Christian just walks into a random granite company. He says he represents a secret group that knows a massive disaster is coming that will literally destroy civilization. And he wanted to build a monument that could survive the apocalypse and give instructions to whoever was left on how to rebuild the world. The company owner thought the guy was a total nut, so he gave him a ridiculously high price to make him go away. But the mystery man didn't even flinch. He just said yes. He said his group had been planning this for 20 years, that Christian was a fake name, and that he wanted to be completely anonymous forever. So sketchy. To this day, no one knows who this guy or his group was. The banker who handled the money swore he'd take the secret to his grave. So in 1980, they unveil this thing. It's massive. 4 giant slabs, a pillar, a capstone. The whole thing weighed 238,000 pounds. And it wasn't just a statue. It was a giant compass, calendar, and clock, all aligned with the stars. But the size and the star stuff isn't why it got famous. The reason this thing is so controversial is because of what was written on it. Carved into these giant stones are 10 rules, written in 8 different languages, so pretty much everyone in the world could read them. On top, a message said, "Let these be guidestones to an age of reason." That sounds good, right? Wrong. People started reading the 10 rules, and they completely freaked out. People thought these weren't helpful guides. They were a demonic plan. They literally called them the 10 Commandments of the Antichrist. The first rule is the craziest one. Maintain humanity under 500 million inches, perpetual balance with nature. 500 million. There were already 4 billion people on Earth, so to get to 500 million, you'd have to get rid of billions of people. People saw this as a call for mass genocide by some secret group, and the other rules were just as wild. Rule number 4 said to rule faith and tradition with tempered reason. People were like, they're telling us to throw away our faith in God. Rule number 3 said to unite humanity with a living new language. This sounded like a plan for a one-world government, which is a huge step for the Antichrist to take over. But rule number 2 might be the most chilling. It says, guide reproduction wisely improving fitness and diversity. That one word, fitness, made everyone think of eugenics, a disgusting government plan to decide who gets to have kids. Conspiracy theorists were convinced R.C. Christian wasn't just some random guy, but a leader in a Luciferian secret society. This wasn't a message of hope. It was a public checklist for the devil. But wait a second. What if everyone is looking at this the completely wrong way? There's a totally different side to this story, that it's not a sinister plot, but a super logical survival guide based on the time it was built. Remember, this was built in 1979, at the peak of the Cold War. The threat of nuclear war was real. People thought the world could end any day. If you look at it that way, the Guidestones aren't a plan to start an apocalypse. They're an instruction manual for what to do after one happens. That message on top, an age of reason, is the key. It's not about replacing God. It's about using logic to rebuild so we don't mess up again. A world court and a new language aren't tools of a new world order. They're a way to stop future wars. Even that insane 500 million people rule looks totally different. It's not a command to kill billions of people now. It's a warning to the survivors to not overpopulate and destroy the planet all over again. It's an environmental message, not a genocidal one. The star alignments weren't for calling demons. They were a basic clock and calendar for a world without technology. And that whole secret society theory, as cool as it sounds, investigators say there is literally zero proof.